If there's one thing you can say about action figure collectors like you and I, well, we want things the way we want them. We want our action figures, our collectibles delivered the easiest possible way. And a lot of times that means buying figures by the case pack. The problem with that is case packs are not evenly distributed, meaning you may not get all the characters needed to make a Build-A-Figure, or you may wind up with more than one of the same figure. In fact, odds are, if you're buying a case pack and there's an A-list character in that assortment, that character is going to be doubled up, meaning there's more than one of the exact same toy. So if you bought a case pack of, said, Deadpool Marvel Legends that we've been looking at the past few slides, well, buying that case pack is going to mean you're going to wind up with two identical Deadpool figures. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because he's awesome, but looking at the other characters in that wave, there's some pretty awesome characters, too, that don't get doubled up. Characters like Deathlock, or characters like 1990s Cable, which I personally was waiting years for. Or, of course, there's the amazing magic of Paladin. And, okay, I can't keep this up. He's not an amazing figure. He's probably one of the biggest peg-warming figures of the entire series. The point being is, while it may be simple to buy a case pack to get one of each figure to make your Build-A-Figure, if you do that, you're going to wind up with doubles. So why does this happen? Well, toy companies have done programs to get full case packs out to collectors without doubling up, but usually it's something that's distributed in a non-traditional way, like at San Diego Comic-Con, where they're selling directly to adult collectors. Putting product at retail and an even case pack tends to, well, bite the retailer and the manufacturer in the butt, and I'm going to kind of explain why and why logistically this doesn't work. It's a frustrating thing for adult collectors. We'd love to just get a wave and order it. We tried this at Mattel when I was running the DC Universe Classics line by bringing back Wave 5 that was originally a Walmart exclusive. And after a year, once the Walmart sort of sell-off window had run out and we had the ability to reissue these figures, we did. We sold them on Matty Collector as a set where you could buy 5 figures that came with the pieces for the Build-A-Figure. Well, how do you think it went selling a full set, that one stop only, and you can walk away? Yeah, sales were in the toilet, or the sewer, or whatever you want to say. Because while there are collectors who want to buy by the case pack, and that's what we're looking at here, these are master cartons of action figures. Every master carton contains a set number of units. It's decided how many to put in there based on how many can fit on a peg. It's very mathematical, and it has to do with what's called the case and a half rule, where retailers want to put out a full case and a half a case, keeping the other half a case of the second case pack in the back for replenishment. That's in an ideal world, but it's how case packs are designed mathematically. You first figure out how many can fit on a peg, and you work backwards from that to figure out the case pack. Now, the assortment, though, of how many of each unit winds up in a case pack, so here you see some action figures removed from their case pack there. You can see, that's the final product that's inside. So the question still remains is, if you're going to do a case pack of assorted figures, why don't you just throw in one of each figure? That way an adult collector can just go in and buy the case pack and they're done. They have the whole set, they have all the Build-A-Figure components, they have possible variants, and they don't have to toy hunt anymore. Well, that's exactly what the issue is. We are convinced that these toys are for us, for this type of demographic, the collector who's going to put the toys behind glass, enjoy them, stare at them. It's going to make you feel a sense of accomplishment. Well, that's exactly the issue, because 80% plus of sales to anyone shopping major retail is a kid. That's why you see assortments this way. Assortments are always, if they're sold at mass retail, going to be based on who does the majority of purchasing, which is children, or rather parents for their children, or, kids with their allowance money. Which is why you see characters where they're made to appeal sort of to the, I wouldn't call it the lowest common denominator, but for example, this is a perfect example. 2 different assortments from Star Wars that each have a Lando Calrissian figure. Vintage series from Episode 5 and Black series from Episode 6. And Target after Target seems to only have these 2 figures in stock. There's no, or there might be one of another, but they tend to have a lot of Landos. And people have said, well, that's because Lando's in there twice in the case. If they had just made an even case pack of one of each figure, that wouldn't be the problem. Well, yes, if adult collectors bought this product. And I know it feels like this is for an adult collector. It's Black series, they're more expensive. So there's 2 big reasons why characters get doubled up and they don't do open, or rather, full set of no repeats in a case pack. The first is popularity. Popularity meaning a character that has more appeal, that's going to sell better. The goal of a toy company and a manufacturer is to sell product. So looking at this case pack of vintage series Star Wars, you can see Baby Yoda, is in there 3 times, and then another new figure, Leia, in her Bestman Escape, is in there once. Collectors complain because Leia was a new figure and you couldn't get her. However, if you look holistically at everyone who's going to purchase these figures, well, Grogu, Baby Yoda, is by far going to outsell anything else. If you have an X-Men series, you're going to get 2 Wolverines. Doesn't matter which outfit he's in, he is the most popular member of the team. You might get another character, like in this case, Nightcrawler gets 2 units. That's because he's also pretty popular and has been on the shelf in a while. But you don't see characters like Mr. Sinister, who's a major villain, in there twice. Now, besides popularity, the other issue that affects how case packs are designed and why we can't have case packs of just one of each character is cost. So look at some of these Marvel Legends, and sorry I'm using so many Marvel Star Wars examples. This applies for all toy lines, but hey, these just work to illustrate it. So note those 2 females there, or note the females in this wave, Jubilee there, or even who's the portal chick at the bottom? You always forget who she is. Doesn't matter. I know I'm not an Age of Apocalypse fan. I'm sure in the comment section I'll have my head handed to me. Okay, or in this one again, Spider-Woman there, Jessica Drake in this Spider-Man wave. All of these female figures come with the largest chunk of the Build-A-Figure because female figures are, by sort of definition, slightly smaller. The female frame is smaller than the male frame. Now, this isn't universal. There's plenty of female action figures that just come with an arm or a leg or a head of a Build-A-Figure, but disproportionately, you will see a huge number of female figures that do come with the largest chunk of the Build-A-Figure. And it's because the female figure costs less. So by putting a bigger chunk of plastic with them, brand managers have to find a way to get every SKU in the assortment to work together for a holistic price, meaning the less expensive figures offset the more expensive ones. So for every, shall we say, large, oversized figure you have in a wave, a smaller one helps make that big one affordable. The most textbook example are these Spawn figures from the early 90s, where Malbolgia and Medieval Spawn here were originally sold as separate single figures. But you can see how much bigger Malbolgia is. They came in the same assortment, same package. But the one giant monster figure was offset by the less expensive regular figures. For every effant Mon you might have in your assortment that's a fully tooled giant figure, that's probably one of the biggest basics, well, you're going to want to throw a Yoda in that case pack to try to offset that cost. That's what you need to do. If you don't double up on the less expensive figures, then the more expensive figure is going to sink the wave. Now, like with any language, there are exceptions. I before E except after C, or no owls before water signs and plant signs. Hey, you should be watching Doodling with Purpose on Sundays. The exceptions include things like online ordering. Online retailers sometimes require open stock, which means a case pack of one figure put in the same number of times as the case pack will hold. So in this case, 8 of the exact same SKU. But we're still not seeing case packs of just one of each figure. The other time you'll see straight single packs are things like exclusives. There's an item sold at one retailer. Or playsets, or large items, track sets, large vehicles. These are usually sold what's called open stock, meaning in the assortment or the SKU number that has a playset, so in this case vintage Castle Grayskull from the 80s, well, it only contained one unit. There was only one, well actually this is the Origins box, but same thing. Here's the original one, here's the vintage one. So both of these boxes only contain the same unit. In this case, you get 2 units of Castle Grayskull from the original one, or 1 unit in the Master Carton for Origins. But the point is, it's repetition of the same toy. When you have an assortment, while some online retailers take open stock, for the main retail assortment, the double up helps move characters at retail. If you have a Spider-Man wave, Spider-Man is going to be the one in there doubled up. If you have an X-Men wave, as I noted, it's going to be Wolverine. Simply because these characters outsell everyone, almost, 5 to 1. Because mainstream, kids, moms, people who buy toys, the bulk of the audience, this sometimes is the only character they know. A kid walks down the aisle, like, I want Wolverine. I have no idea who that guy with the Canadian flag is, or the guy with the jet coming out of his, torso. If it's an unproven property, something like Shang-Chi, which no one knows how it's going to perform, you see characters like Iron Man and Captain America put in this wave. Not just Iron Man and Captain America, but very comic book, sort of traditional color versions. And going back to Deadpool, if it's a Deadpool wave, no matter how wacky that Deadpool is, you're going to see multiples of him. He sells better. It's just the bottom line. It's just the way sales work. You're going to want to put the character that sells the best in the case pack the most. And that's why, while it's frustrating, this is actually a victory. If Hasbro walked into a retailer and saw that only Lando is left on the pegs, it means they won. This is what it should look like. The most popular character should be the one peg warming. I hope this video clarified why case packs of a full assortment don't really work for retail, and, well, why retailers and manufacturers are focused on the best-selling, cost-effective figures. Case packs are all about cost ratio, not about making sure adult collectors can get a full set, because they have to think of the people doing the bulk of the purchasing. Kids, parents, and gift givers. I hope this video clarified. Please do like, share, send it to others. It helps the channel a lot. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the comment section where I always try to jump in. Thanks for watching.